Hello, I'm an idiot. I quit my safe job a year ago in engineering without a clue what I was going to do instead. I quit the job for two reasons. One, engineering wasn't for me. Two, the company I was at drove me over the edge and I quit with no plan. And then what I did was just do as much fitness as possible to distract myself from the fact that I didn't know where my next form of paycheck was coming from. And what I ended up doing was networking a lot, meeting people, and getting them onto a podcast which I was already hosting. The podcast then forced me to learn to edit, and I did most of the editing on the phone that you're watching on right now. And someone one day said to me, have you ever thought about doing that for a living? They were talking about editing and shooting things and telling people stories, which is something I've always loved doing. I've always loved knowing the intricacies of an athlete's journey or a person telling their story on their business. And I'd never thought about the fact that I could pair that passion for working with a camera. So for a while, I was using my phone and I was learning how to turn what I was doing into a business. And trust me, nobody wants to help you. You are on your own. And I wish I had a video series like I'm bringing to YouTube to document everything that has happened since then, because I've learned so much in the last year that I want to share with you, but also document for myself, hopefully looking back when things are super successful. So in December, I bought my first camera and I started shooting Hyrox events. So I got into Hyrox as a sport last year, and I suddenly realized that people love to have content from their Hyrox races. So I asked around in my friendship group at the time and said, look, does anyone want their race filmed? Not for very much money, anything that you can give me would be great. I just would love to film and learn how to do it. And that was my first event. What I learned there was that I had a lot to learn. Where I am now is that I have upgraded my equipment a lot. I've done lots of different shoots and I'm now far more solopreneur than I thought I'd ever be at this point. I'm still nowhere near where I want to be. Whilst that is terrifying, it's extremely cool. And I'm so glad that I'm starting this now. I am now having to learn how to do lots of different things. If I really want to break this into a proper business and start to get a bit of a reputation, I've got to learn how to do things properly. That's where I bring you along. So this first video that you're watching is when I went to Turf Games. Turf Games is a fitness event. I had 2 clients booked, both pulled out last minute, but I did have my ticket. And I, as a solopreneur at this stage in my life, need to go anyway. Get content, learn how to do things, use it as a use case. This is the intro to most of the videos. You'll see the fun product and then you'll see the behind the scenes. So like, subscribe and follow while I have you now, and enjoy the rest of this video and series.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang.
I'm gonna shoot you right down off of your feet. How? Hey.
At the moment, I'm in the middle of an empty field. This is how I felt the YouTube series should start. It's something that I've been wanting to start for ages and I keep putting it off. So here we are. I'm actually around the corner from Turf Games. Turf Games is an opportunity for me to film some athletes doing some cool stuff. Basically, this video is me introducing myself to you and taking you with me to Turf Games to understand how on earth I need to work with this new camera and learn new things in post-production. The most ironic thing about this whole series is you're going to think I know a lot about cameras, and I like to think that I do know a lot about cameras, but I have had to record basically this clip 3 times because every time I filmed it, and I'm filming on my phone, the camera's been facing the wrong way. I want to be using the good quality camera on the back of the phone, not the front one. So that's a point to learn if you're going to do YouTube and vlogging. But I'm coming here to Turf Game. I was supposed to be filming 2 clients. Unfortunately, both pulled out for independent reasons. One was injury, one decided they didn't want to be filmed anymore. But I do still have my spectator band. So I'm taking that to get in, do a little bit of portfolio work and do some work where I have no pressure. I can film who I like, what I like, and basically learn some new settings on this brand new camera and how to put that together post-production in a brand new editing software. So it's kind of a bit of a learning week for me this week, which I will show you, and I'll show you what I learned. Okay, so let's talk setup. This camera is the new camera, the Sony FX30. The reason I bought this camera over other alternatives is essentially it's a cropped sensor, which means a couple of different things, but the main thing that it means for me is that I don't have to buy new lenses. These lenses work on my Ep.1, they now work on this camera as well, which is great. It meant that my main investment was just the camera body alone. Because I'm shooting outside today, I brought an ND filter. For those of you that don't know what that does, basically it allows me to control the exposure, so how bright a shot really looks. That is almost it, really. Reason for that, I would normally have a camera cage, maybe a handle on here. Reason I haven't done that is because that's about 90 quid for the one I want. And this camera alone was quite expensive. I got it for just shy of 1,300 off Cotswolds Cameras. Not sponsored. If they want to sponsor me, that'd be great. So that meant that I couldn't afford a cage, I couldn't afford any other flash stuff for the camera today. So I'm literally just rocking it with the camera body, my normal lens, which is 17 to 70mm Tamron lens, f-stop 2.8, the ND filter on the front, and then my camera monitor as well. So I'm going to put that together now, and then we'll jump into the event and we'll see what we film for the day. I will say this is a bit of an ick, so that would be tidied normally with some sort of tie, or just with a shorter cable on the camera cage. There's also other ways of connecting this to this, so I will probably do that in future. But for today, like I said, this is what I've got for cash reasons and because it's also light and easy to carry around. So that's it. We might as well head in and see what we get. Okay, so I've never actually been to Turf Games before, which means that I needed to familiarise myself with what was going on, both as the event, but also like in the venue, which meant I kind of just moved around filming different bits, learning the camera settings and the light settings. I filmed these three people, which I actually recognise. This is the shot you've literally just seen me film. And I carried on wandering around, filming different things and kind of playing with some settings, which actually drained me of my first battery. Okay, so while I get a new battery out, one of the things that's worth mentioning is also using zebra lines when you're outside, something that I've actually only started recently doing myself, because I didn't really understand what they were for. What it will do is it will just show you those bits that are getting really bright, and then you can adjust the ND filter, or if you were changing other settings on your camera, so that those zebra lines as well, you can change it with how overexposed. So for me today, I've put it up pretty high because I only really worry about things that are like super, super bright. When I come to post-production, I don't want to have to worry about that. But I could drop it if I was in a different setting again. But they are really useful, and they're not that complicated if you're setting them up just for something simple like that. So I've got those on, and that's what it looks like. So after this, I basically went around some of the other workout stations and filmed different things, but also getting a lot of the people in the crowd. Because one thing I've learned from doing Hyroxes and other events similar is that getting the emotion from the crowd can really add to the video and help build up a scene. So this lift that you're seeing here, I got some really good stuff for people watching that lift and that guy as well. So I can definitely use that in the edit, which is cool. Okay, so we're done. We've spent about 3 hours here. One of the benefits of the fitness industry is that you seem to know everybody. So fortunately, I've met quite a few friends that are here and other people that I've trained with before. It's good to see them. I've definitely made sure to prioritise their teams as well, because if I'm just going to come here and shoot anyone and make something out of it, then it might as well be the people that I know will appreciate it the most. So I've not colour graded with S-Log film from the FX30 before, so I'm going to learn how to do that. It's obviously got very different settings to what ZV-10 can do. This is the point, this is the learning curve. I'm learning every single time I press record on that button. If you find this interesting, then you can learn as well. I'm not the sort of person to pretend how good I am at something, and I'll tell you guys what I learn as I learn it. Okay, so it has been and gone, Turf Games now. So I have uploaded all of the footage into DaVinci Resolve, which is the new software that I've decided to use. Formerly, and openly honestly, I was using CapCut. I was using CapCut on my phone before when I was editing things, and moving on to the CapCut desktop version was already a big jump up for me when I first did that. So at the time it was great, but they're changing their license agreements, and I'll be honest, as much as it's a very fast developing software, I don't think it's going to be the top of the industry for years to come, and that's kind of where I need to be looking at if I want to improve. Now, why I haven't used things like Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro is because the price tag that comes with them. At the time, I'm not that confident that I will want to use one of those straight away forever, and paying monthly quite a lot of money to be able to figure out if I don't like something is just nonsensical to me. So DaVinci Resolve has a free version, which is unbelievable for what you get. And so I'm learning how to do things on that, especially with things like color grading, nodes, following tutorials that are available online. YouTube's obviously full of them. And then once I'm confident and I know that I'm going to do this, then I'll obviously be getting the one-time payment DaVinci Resolve Studio. So that's the plan. Now, color grading, I'm out of my own league already and I've barely done anything. So the final video, I have a feeling, is going to end up being something that in literally a matter of days, I'm not going to be happy with in terms of what the colors are. But I need to learn and I need to try some different things. Okay, so one of the things that I've already done because I was struggling was download a power grade. So I literally found a free power grade online, which essentially is a pre-made node tree, which is labeled with all of the different things that you can then adjust to then do to your image. Now, it's not perfect and you still need the right eye to know what you're doing, which is something that admittedly I absolutely do not have yet. So that's something that I seriously need to work on. And I don't think the final video that I put out is going to be a reflection of at all where I want to be, but it's going to be like, I got it to here with the very little knowledge that I have. And then I'm going to move on to the next project because I do have shoots booked and I've got lots of things to learn on the job, which I will probably take a little bit more time over, learn some new things off new tutorials, and we'll go from there. So if you enjoyed the first video, massively appreciate the support. If you've got any tips and tricks for me, whack them in the comments. And while you're there, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one, where we're going to Slovenia.